right, here we go, friends. Time to do the Unit 9 project. In this lesson, explore emphasis and dominance. You'll experiment with using different techniques to create emphasis and dominance. Planning your project. In this lesson, you'll trace 2 images and then use your traced images to explore the principles of emphasis and dominance. There are images for you to use in the Section 8 folder, but if you have images that you'd like to use instead, copy them to the Section 8 folder before starting this project. If you're choosing your own images to use, here are some suggestions about what type of image that will work best. Images focusing on most or all of the single object are easier to trace. Using images that have some areas with contrasting colors or values makes it easier to trace contour lines, and choosing an image that you like is important because you'll be more invested in how your artwork turns out. And I'm just going to remind you real quick, when you want to find your own artwork, you're going to go to the Creative Commons, so creativecommons.org. Up at the top, you'll click Search the Commons. It will bring you to this page. So for example, if you wanted to search up a frog, you'd type in frog, and you want something, you're not using it for commercial purposes, you're not trying to make a profit or build a website for somebody who is making a profit, so you're not commercial. You just want to modify, adapt, or build upon it, so check there. Click Google Images, and it will bring up public domain images of frogs that you can use. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to open Inkscape. So get that open. And then we're going to import our first image. I'm just going to use one of the files from the resources that you downloaded at the beginning of the class. The first thing you want to do, always remember, is to name your file. So we're going to name it by going File, Save As. Find your digital arts folder, and this is Unit 9. Into Unit 9, and I'm going to name this with my first and last name. So you name it with your first and last name. That's the very first thing that goes in the title, and then you can call this unit, you can call it Unit 9 Emphasis, or just Emphasis works. Click Enter, and then you'll see the name of your file at the top of the page. So then let's go ahead and say File, Import. So when you want to bring an image in, you are importing. So I'm going into my digital arts folder, and here is where I had saved my resources. I made a folder called Resources, and we're looking at said Unit 8, Section 8, is that right? Is where it said we would find those. So even though we're doing Unit 9, the resources are found in Section 8. So the one that our online textbook is doing is the book. So I'm just going to follow along with it. Make sure it says Embed and click OK, and you can just kind of bring that up there and we'll see what's next. Okay, it says to go ahead and size it. So hold down Control to maintain the proportions. And make sure that it fits on the page. The project layers. This project uses several layers. You'll take advantage of the ability to lock and hide layers in order to create different versions of the same artwork for this project. 2 bitmap layers will hold the bitmap images you'll import for this project. 2 trace layers will hold the original traced images of the 2 bitmap images. A color layer is where you'll create an artwork focusing on emphasis using color. A size layer is where you'll create an artwork focusing on emphasis using size. A shape layer is where you'll create an artwork focusing on emphasis using shape. You'll add all of these layers next. First thing we're going to do is just right click and rename our first layer Bitmap 1 and hit Enter. I guess I should remind you, but I think you know by now, that layers, if they're not showing up, are found at the very bottom of the layer menu. Create a new layer and call that one Bitmap 2. Look, it already added the 2 for me. We're going to create a new layer and we're going to call that Trace 1. Now create a new layer called Trace 2. Create a layer called Color. Create a layer called Size. And a layer called Shape. Lock the Bitmap 1 layer. When you're done, all of your layers should be in this order from the top down: Shape, Size, Color, Trace 2, Trace 1, Bitmap 2, Bitmap 1. If they are not, you can move them around by selecting them and using these arrows. Next, we're going to use the Bezier tool to vector the shape that you have. So you'll want to zoom in a little bit so that you can see what you're doing pretty well. So zoom in, that should be good for me. And grab a hold of your Bezier tool. Click, 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 click. And then I have to hit save before I get to my last point. Then you're going to use your nodes tool to grab the pages and curve them. This area in here. Okay, perfect. And then you can go ahead and fill those with color if you want to by going to your fill and stroke, or you can do it down below. So you can just pick a nice soft color for the page. I'll go with that one. Should be able to use our fill tool. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to make sure that it is the color that I want it to be, and I think it is. So let's see. Yep, that should be it. And then just with the fill bucket, you've got to make sure that you've got the actual bucket. There, I do, and click on the spot that you want to fill. Just make sure that that bitmap layer 1 is hidden. And then we're going to go ahead and I think we have to select the book. So file, save. Oh, let's see here. We've got to select the whole thing again. And we have to group the whole thing. So object, group it. There you go, sorry. And then we're going to edit. We're going to clone tile, create tiled clones like we've been doing every single time. We're going to make sure that under symmetry it is a simple translation. Okay, and it says you can do however many rows and columns that you want. I'm going to do 3 and 3. Having a 3x3 grid is going to make it so that I should have one in the middle. And click create, and then I need to zoom out. So this little guy here, we can delete that, and I just clicked on it and hit delete. I should redo that. You can grab it and move it to the side so that you can see that, and then I'm just going to hit delete. So there we go. Now I should have 9, and I do, and there's 1 in the middle, and I did that on purpose. Okay, now you're going to just go ahead and edit, select all, and we're going to size these so that they'll fit on the page. So I'm just going to hold down Control while I do that so that I don't change their proportion at all. And that should fit, and you can move those over. Whoops, Control Z. Control A to select all, and then Control A, select all. I have to hit save there. Now I can move it over. Perfect. Okay, now go over to the edit menu. Whoops, first select all of the clones, and then you're going to go to edit, clone, unlink, clone. Unlinking it will separate the clone from the rest of the objects, or separate rather the clones from your original object. Okay, so now that we've got them all selected, or hit Control A, we're going to hit Control C to copy them, or Edit, Copy. And we are going to our Layers menu. So get to Layers, and we're going to hide the, I believe, Trace 1. And, oh, I seem to be in my bitmap layer. Did I go to the wrong layer? I might have done my work in the wrong layer. And then you're going to go over to the color layer. So hide whichever one you have those on. Go to your color layer and then right click and paste. And there they are. You can move them over onto the page. So now you have these guys on your color layer. Oh, and you know what? If you do edit, paste in place, then you don't have to worry about moving them over. It'll paste them in the exact same place they were at on the other layer. So hide the color layer. And then you're going to do the same thing. Just go to the size layer and go edit, paste in place, and then hide that layer and go to the shape layer and go edit, paste in place. So now you have all of your books or whatever shapes you did on each of the layers. Okay, and so now we're just going to grab one of your books that you're going to emphasize the color of. So click on your color layer. You can hide the shape layer so you can see the color layer, make it visible, and you are just going to grab whichever one you want. So I'm going to do the middle, and you're just going to change the color. So I'm going to the object fill and stroke, and let's see here. I'm going to make a fill, and I'm going to use this little guy right here and decide which color I want to make it. I want it to stand out. I think I'll just go with that, and then I can create a little emphasis that way. Probably be fun to maybe ungroup. See if I can ungroup that and actually go in there. I'm gonna zoom in. Zoom. Fill my page is a different color. Okay, I'm going to hit shift and grab them both at the same time. And then I just want to make those a color that's going to stand out. I'm going to select this color right here. And you know what I think I'll do? That works. I'm good. There, I used color to emphasize it. See how I did that? Wasn't that brilliant? Now you can hit the number 5 and it will zoom back out, and all is well. Save your work and head back over to your layers. Okay, so you're done with color, and now go to your size layer, and guess what? You're going to create emphasis with size. Okay, so it's pretty simple really. We're just going to emphasize one of them by making it larger. I'm going to hold down Control so that it maintains the proportion of that. And you know what? I think I'll just go ahead and grab this one, and I'm just going to delete it. And I'll probably grab this one and delete it. And maybe I'll Control All and move them all down the page. Whoops. Move them down the page and possibly make this one even bigger. Hold down Control. And there. Now I've created some emphasis. Have I not? Yes, you have, Mrs. Girot. It's beautiful. Look at that. Size one of these books. Or maybe not a book. Okay, creating shape emphasis. In order to create shape emphasis, you'll need a shape that contrasts strongly with the one that you traced earlier. There are images for you to use in the Section 8 folder. we're going to import a second bitmap now. All right, so File, Import, and what shape contrasts with your books? Ooh, I'm gonna go with the scissors. Okay. I'm on the wrong layer. No wonder. File, Import, Scissors. Okay, there they are. Ah, yes, everybody likes a good pair of scissors around their books, right? Nice. Okay, so let's see what it says. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it wanted us to put that on our bitmap 2 layer. So I need to do it right. So I'm going to just go ahead and edit, cut that, and I'm going to put that in my bitmap. See, I already have something. What's in my bitmap 1 layer? I need to hide stuff so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so that was my bitmap 1. And my bitmap 2, this is really my trace. I'm going to rename this. This is my trace 1. Okay, let's move that one up. Oh, shoot. Oh, no. This is so funny. Okay, and then I'm going to hide that one. This should be my bitmap 2. Okay, so now that I have my bitmap 2, now I can right click and I'm going to paste my shape into the bitmap 2 layer. Oh yeah, I just really wasn't doing what I was supposed to do, was I? I wasn't paying attention. And so now that I've got that, I'm going to lock bitmap 2 so I can't make any changes to it. And here's my trace 1 layer. I'm locking that. I'm going to trace 2. So I'm going to be using my trace 2 layer and I'm going to trace the scissors. So you need your eyeball open so you can see what you're doing. And you're just going to zoom in so that you can see what you're tracing. And then you're going to grab your Bezier tool and you're going to trace it. So ding, ding, and I can't even see what's what. I have to hide this bitmap so I can see what I'm doing for a second. Okay, I can make that bitmap layer a little opaque so I can see a lot better. There we go, that's better. Okay, let's try it out. I probably have to select it first. And then I can grab these guys, right, black, right, and I want to go ahead and create a new shape with my Bezier. Let's see, gotta get, whoops, ding, do I have the right tool? Yep. Okay. Oops. Okay, so I just moved my scissors to the side. I don't know why I can't get the thing to change colors for me. I'm quite frankly getting really frustrated. But when I make a video, just remember, stuff doesn't work for me. Okay, there's one of my scissor holes. Awesome. And I'm going to move this back over now that I have that one created. At least I'm going to try. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to select that one and hold down Shift and select that one too, right? And do Object, Path, Difference. Yay, and it cuts it out. That's all I've been trying to do this whole time. That's it. That's all I wanted to do. Okay, let's try it again. File, save. And I know that this is going to give me a hard time because it won't change the color of that line for me to save my life. So I'm just going to go ahead and do what I did before. Okay, so I'm good with that. And I've got that selected. I need to move my scissors back over. those back where they belong. You've got that one selected. You should just be able to hold down Shift and select the other one too. There's the little one. Okay. Now I'm going to grab the big one. Okay, now they're both selected. Path difference. Whew! That was awesome. Okay, so I got my scissors, and I'm guessing that we're probably just going to take it and copy it over onto the shape page, but I better read the directions first. All right, yes, that's exactly what we're going to do. So I'm going to hit the number 5, and I'm going to just click on the scissors that I made in the trace layer and click copy, and then go up to the shape layer, hide the trace layer, and hide the bitmap layer, and edit paste in place. Make sure that you have your eyeball open. I'm gonna try this again. Paste in place. There it is. Perfect. Okay, so I think what we're gonna do is just select one of the books and delete it, and then move that traced image where you want it to create some emphasis, and voila, you're done. That's pretty much it. So, so now we're just going to export each of these separately. So what you want to do is you just want to lock and hide the layers that you're not going to be exporting. So remember, if something's visible, it's going to export, okay? So hide everything else except for your shape layer and go File, Export. And it's going to be named your Unit 9 emphasis, and you want to put size. Okay, so you know that that one is your size. I always like to click close when complete, and then you have to hit the green check, export. And it's not exported since you hit the close when complete until the chosen area to be exported is invalid. Oh, snap. That's not good. Oh, look, it's on custom. You need to switch it over to page. I don't know why it did that. I know that did that to another student before. So just click export. All right, good. So that one's gone. Now you're going to do the same thing with your size. So make sure that size is visible. Oh my goodness. And apparently I have a pair of scissors over here. Oh, it's locked. That's why it won't do anything. Okay, and get that out of there, because otherwise when it exports it, it will export a little pair of scissors off to the side. Okay, so anything that you don't want exported, make sure you don't see it. It's got to be invisible, and then File, Export, and so which one? Oh, this one size. Oh shoot, I did the wrong. The last one, what was that one? The last one was supposed to be shape. Whoops, I'm going to call this size 1. And click export. See what happens when you're trying to rush. Yep, we all do it, huh? So going back to, oh, I'm going to just close this create tiled clones box. That's going to be helpful. Good. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hide that one and go back to my shape, and I'm going to export that and name it correctly. Export as shape. Okay. And click the export button. There. And now go ahead and get your color layer. Make sure the color layer is the only layer that's visible, and go File, Export, and you can call that one Color. And click the export button, and voila, it's gone. And that's what you're going to submit. Okay, so just come on over to your table of contents or the content, and you're going into the live classes. And this is our last live class, March 15th, that we're doing this last Unit 9 in. And here's the Dropbox. Just gonna click on that Dropbox, and you'll have a little upload button right here. And when you go to upload it, You go into your DigArtsII folder and find that Unit 9. Where did that one go? 9, emphasis. Okay, and here they all are. So I can hold down my control button and I can pick my color, my shape, and my size 1. And you'll just open them all up at the same time. And once they're uploaded, they have not been submitted. So make sure that you scroll down until you see the submit button. You can't see it on my screen. I'm not a student, so I don't have your same screen. But once you have them uploaded, then hit submit. Submit. All right, good job. Thank you. Bye.